Year 4 and welcome to today's curriculum lesson. This week we are going to be looking at RE, so we're going to be learning about different religions, and the focus of today's lesson is a place of worship. So the religion that we are looking at today is Buddhism. Now, Buddhism, when the slide wants to work, there we go. Buddhism is a religion, and this faith was founded by the Buddha more than 2,500 years ago in India. Okay, this religion has over 470 million followers, so it is one of the main religions in the world. It is actually the fourth largest religion. So people that follow Buddhism are called Buddhists, just like people who follow Islam are called Muslims, people who follow Christianity are called Christians, and people who follow Buddhism are Buddhists. So we are going to be learning about Buddhism today and their sacred place of worship, which is called a temple. Now you can see just over here a wheel, and this is called the Wheel of Life, and we're going to be coming back to this Wheel of Life later on, but this is the symbol of Buddhism as well as the image of Buddha himself, who created the religion. So these are two things that we're going to come back to in the lesson. Now, Buddhist sacred places to worship are called temples, and here you've got some amazing and beautiful pictures of temples all around the world. Some are in India, some are in Asia, and there's just amazing temples, as we can see. Lots of gold images of Buddha. So these are some temples. Now, Buddhist temples are used to represent pure land and the pure environment of Buddha. So all around the temple needs to be calm and peaceful and beautiful, as well as inside the temple. And they do that to show inner and outer peace. So they're designed to make people feel calm and feel peaceful when they look at the temple or when they step inside the temple. Now, the temples are built in specific ways and shapes, and these are created to represent 5 Buddhist elements. So they create the buildings with these things in mind: fire, air, earth, water, and wisdom. And we'll be coming back to wisdom today and tomorrow, mainly about how important wisdom is to Buddhists. But when the temples are created, they are designed to make people feel calm, to make people think of these 5 elements with the shape and the spire at the top, and the land around them is calm and peaceful too. So, what is it like inside a Buddhist temple? So here are some images of inside real Buddhist temples. So we can see there's statues, there's lots of gold, beautiful designs. And here is an actual image of Buddha, a statue of Buddha. And we will be coming back to how important that is within a Buddhist temple. So, the images of Buddha are inside the temple, and they're everywhere. We have statues of Buddha, pictures of Buddha, and they are used and worshipped. Okay, so we can see down here we've got Buddhist monks sitting in front of the statue of Buddha, the golden statue of Buddha. So all temples include images of Buddha, whether that be statues or pictures. As well as that, there's also a lectern. Okay, you might have heard this word being used before when we've studied other religions, but this is basically a bit of wood or another material. It's like a stand for a holy text. So on it you put a text and people read from that text in sermons or in different meetings with religious people. So here, the head monk, who is the leader in the Buddhist temple, the monks are really highly regarded within the religion. They stand and they give talks to all the Buddhist worshippers. So it's a book stand, and they have the book upon it or the text upon the book stand, and then they speak from that. They read from it. We also have a courtyard or a meditation area. So a temple always has a small place for people to go and meditate. So for people to go and find peace, and it's like a way of prayer, okay? It's for them to find peace, to sit, to meditate, to think about Buddha, and to think about who they are as a person. And every single temple has an area, a quiet, silent area for people to go and meditate. So we have images of Buddha, we have lecterns for the monks to read from, and we have a meditation area where people can sit and meditate. Lastly, you have seen this before, is the Wheel of Life. This is a Buddhist symbol. So if you see this symbol, you know that you're inside a Buddhist temple. Okay, so it's the Wheel of Life, and this is central to the Buddhist religion. Now, as we've spoken about, there's often signs of Buddha. There's pictures and statues and golden statues and beautiful statues of Buddha throughout the temple. The main place you'll find these are in the shrine room, okay? This is the most important part of a Buddhist temple. The shrine room is vital because in there they've got all the pictures of Buddha, which are actually called Buddharupas, and that just means images of Buddha throughout. Any place where there is an image of Buddha is known as a shrine, and people can worship Buddha there. So when Buddhists worship, they have an image in front of them of Buddha or a statue, and that is how they worship. So they need to have a statue or an image of Buddha in their shrine room when they worship Buddha. So a shrine room is so important because if they don't have it, they can't worship Buddha. Now, why do people go to Buddhist temples? So, people go to the temple, as I've said, to worship the image of Buddha. They usually sit on the floor barefoot, so no shoes, no socks, in front of an image of Buddha, and that is how they worship. Worshippers also give offerings to Buddha, and we'll look a bit more at the offerings, such as flowers and candles. The worship is led by monks, and usually how people worship Buddha is they sit down barefoot in front of an image of Buddha and they chant and meditate. So the monk leads the chanting and everyone follows, and they all then meditate quietly. Okay, so when I said offerings, what that means is going and giving a gift to someone, or in this case, an image of a person. Okay, so they believe that they are giving gifts to Buddha. So some of the gifts that people take, some gifts that Buddhists take, are candles. Now they give a candle, they light a candle to show that Buddha has taught them so much and has enlightened them, has woken up their mind. Okay, so they light a candle to show the light of Buddha and how he has taught them and enlightened them. Buddhists can also bring flowers, and they position flowers around the shrine, which we know is the area where Buddhists pray to Buddha. And they give flowers to show that all things in life live, blossom, and die. So it's to show that life does have an end. So we need to appreciate the life we have because things live and then they die. It shows that circle of life. They also can give bowls of water. And this shows that Buddha is an honored guest because, again, you might remember that is one of the 5 elements, the water. It is something natural on this earth, and the Buddhists say that that is a symbol to show how much they appreciate Buddha and he's an honored guest. And lastly, incense. And you might remember this from one of our books that we read, but incense is a really nice smelling fragrance. And they light it during worship. So they light these small sticks, and the smoke that comes off them releases a really nice smell. Okay, and that reminds them that Buddha is all around them, because as the smell spreads through the air, Buddhists are reminded of Buddha and how Buddha surrounds them, just like the scent coming from the incense. So we can give candles, flowers, bowls of water, sometimes food as well, and light incense to spread the smell of the incense and to remind Buddhists of Buddha and how he is all around them in the world, all around them. Okay, so again, people going to Buddhist temples. Many Buddhists believe that worshipping together helps them understand their religion better. So they see it as a faith family. All of the Buddhists get together and it helps them become a better Buddhist if they are alongside their family of Buddhists. Being in a temple also helps with meditation. It's really calm and still. When you are in the shrine room and meditation is taking place, it is silent. No one is allowed to speak. So, Buddhists often find if they go to a temple, it's nice to be around people of the same religion. It's nice to be with other Buddhists and to learn more from them. And also, it's really nice to meditate quietly. And it's really calm and really still, which helps them to meditate. Okay. But not just for worshipping, Buddhist temples are also used for special occasions like weddings or religious festival days. So, as you can see here, people are having a festival outside a Buddhist temple and they go and celebrate, and they might give more offerings to Buddha as well. So, it can be used as a place for celebration too. Now, as we've spoken about the temples so much, we also know that Buddhists can worship at home. They like worshipping at the temple, but they can worship at home. In a Buddhist home, there will be one room or an area of a room, they might have a section of a room, that is a shrine. And we know that in the temple, the shrine is the most important place because it has an image of Buddha. It is where we have a meditation space and people can give offerings to Buddha and worship him there. So, when they are at home, if Buddhists would like to worship Buddha, they make sure they have a shrine where there is a statue or an image of Buddha. They have their incense and their candles, and they give their offerings to Buddha. So, this allows Buddhists to worship Buddha daily. So, if they can't get to the temple, they can worship at home. However, Buddhists like to go to the temple to learn from other Buddhists and for the calmness of the temple. And they feel closer to Buddha. However, at home, they can also do this as long as they have a shrine, an image of Buddha to worship and give offerings to. So it's really important. And we spoke about those offerings before. Now, when you're in a shrine room, whether it is in the temple or it is at home in the safety of your own home, you need to make sure that there is no talking in the shrine room. Okay, so it's important that Buddhists are silent in there, and that is because it creates a calmness throughout, and that is really, really important to Buddhist meditation. They also need to wear appropriate clothing and no shoes. So shoes are not allowed to be worn in the shrine room. Special books should be kept off the floor. So we learned about the lectern, which is a stand to put the books on. That is where the religious books should be put. The important books should be put on the lectern, not on the floor. You sit with your legs crossed on the floor. Now, Buddhists believe you are not allowed to sit whilst worshipping Buddha with your legs straight or lying down. If you sit with your legs straight or you lie down, it is seen as a sign of disrespect. So they do not like that. When you go into the shrine room, whether at home or in the temple, you make sure you sit properly with your legs crossed. Buddhists then bow to the statue of Buddha, which, as we know, is in the shrine room, and then they make offerings. So this is always part of that ritual before they meditate. They bow to Buddha and then they make some offerings to him. So your job is going to be to label a shrine room in the Buddhist temple. So you can see here, this is an image of a shrine room. And we need to be thinking about everything that needs to be in a shrine room so that these systems can go ahead. So, for example, there needs to be a statue of Buddha. We know that. We know that they need to have a statue or an image of Buddha. And usually it'll be right in front of them in the center so people can look at it, can bow to it, can make offerings, and then meditate. So we should be able to see a statue of Buddha here. There also needs to be the wheel of life to show us that we are in a Buddhist temple. It's a symbol of Buddhism. So we should be able to find the wheel of life. There is also the lectern. The lectern, again, is to keep the special precious books off the floor. So it's a stand to hold the books. Maybe you can spot that. There's also offerings. So we know that Buddhists bow to the statue of Buddha and then they provide offerings, which are candles, water, food, flowers. So if you can see them in this picture, they are the offerings. We also know they burn incense. So you might be thinking, oh, yes, I remember that. And that is so they know that Buddha is all around them. The smell of the incense when they burn the sticks floats through the air. It surrounds the Buddhists and reminds them that Buddha is all around them. So if you can see the burning sticks of incense, the little sticks, they are in this picture too. And last but not least, a meditation area, which is usually a mat or a space on the floor for people to meditate right in front of a statue of Buddha. So you have got labels here, A, B, C, D, E, and F. You have got the spellings here, and I want you to label what is A, write what it is, what is B, and write them in here, okay? After you've completed that, you are going to explain to me what Buddhists do in the temple. So when Buddhists go to the temple, what do they do? So in Buddhist temples, Buddhists, what do they do? Remember to tell me about those rules. Remember to tell me what they are doing. Why are they there? What are they trying to learn? What do they give? And also down here it says people need to. So that's another sentence starter where it can talk about the rules and the expectations in the temple. So what do Buddhists do in the temple? I expect a few sentences down here of you explaining that to me. If you've got the differentiated sheet, you've got the same task to begin with. And down here, I want you to finish the red sentence. So in temples, Buddhists, and you can finish the sentence. I've put a word map for you to finish that red sentence. What do Buddhists do? Okay, you can look at some of these words, say your sentence, and then write your sentence. Okay, that assignment has been put on Teams, so make sure you have a look at that. Okay, so off you go. I will speak to you soon. Bye, guys.